You clicked this video because you want to know whether you should summon on the new Synchro Super Gogeta as well as the Legends Limited Super Janemba. The Fusion Reborn Part 1, which is the Legends Festival 2025, is beginning. And I'm going to give you the absolute truth about both of these units. We'll go into some things you should consider before summoning, then we'll go into their kits, breaking them down, then I will give you my opinion on whether I think you guys should summon, and then also whether I'm going to be summoning, as a lot of you guys like to know what I'm going to be doing. Let's get into this. So before you do anything, here are some things you should really consider. Firstly, consider your chrono crystals. I know a lot of you guys have been saving for this purpose specifically, but bear in mind there's going to be 3 parts to this celebration. There's the part 1, which already has 2 Legends Limited. There will be part 2, which most likely will have 2 Legends Limited, but it could have 1. And part 3, which in this case will most likely have an Ultra. The banners for Gogeta and Janemba last a decent amount of time, until the 14th of January to be specific, but the 2x Z power will be removed on the 17th of December. So if you're not feeling this too much, you'd be better off to wait maybe 2 or 3 weeks until the part 2 happens. And if you don't like the part 2, then you can summon on Gogeta and Janemba. Just like I kind of explained, but I'll go into it in more detail, you shouldn't really summon straight away. Like I said, the banner release date, which will be tomorrow, the 21st, which is a Friday, it will end on the 14th, so 2026 January, but the 2x Z power leaves on the 17th of December. So consider those dates and maybe bide your time for multiple reasons. You won't need to summon straight away because you're not a content creator. What I advise people do is to watch showcases, big and small content creators, to get a widespread opinion on the unit. Every account has a different build, different equipments, and different star levels on various units. So if you're watching a showcase for a big content creator that has a lot of high stars, you might be thinking, why doesn't your Gogeta do that? Why doesn't your Janemba do that? And that's because there's an account diff. So getting a widespread opinion is very important. The meta will ultimately also dictate what the unit can do. So even if it looks good in a showcase, in 2 to 3 days, that unit could be a bust. So if you wait a couple days, the wide player base will decide whether that unit's good based on how often you see them in ranked PvP. I also said earlier, consider the near future. So there's part 2 and part 3 to the celebration. There might be things that you like more than whatever dropped in this part 1. So consider not going all in. And the final thing I want to say is, my judgment isn't final. I'm giving this advice prior to the banners actually dropping, the units being released, so I don't have the in-game stats for how they perform, which means what I'm saying in this video could be, to a degree, misinformation, because their stats will impact how they play in PvP, and also sometimes how their kit reads on paper isn't exactly how their kit performs in actual concept. And the biggest factor, I simply cannot see the longevity of the unit. I don't know what else they're going to release for the meta to shift in a certain way for how the unit will last, so I can't speak on the future for the unit, but I can give my opinion, but I simply don't know what else they will release. Let's get into the kits now. We're gonna start off with Super Gogeta. They are Goku and Vegeta that transform into Super Gogeta. Their element is green. Here are their tags: Saiyan, Son Family, Otherworld Warrior, Vegeta Clan, Fusion, Fusion Warrior, and Super Saiyan. They are from sagas from the movies, and I know it doesn't say here, but it said in the reveals, they are a range type. Here are their Z abilities. So you can see here, sagas from the movies, Saiyan Fusion Warrior, you get base blast attack, base strike defense, and if the sagas from the movies is a battle member, you get blast defense extra, and you're also going to get blast damage if there's a Fusion Warrior. Here we have the strike arts, blast arm on the strike, 20% damage when you press the strike, which is nice. The blast attack is very good because it has a blast armor break card, similar to Perfect Cell, the Ultra, and Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. It's a held card, so it's not every single blast, and it's going to be shared between Goku and Vegeta and as Super Gogeta. Nothing else special about it besides the damage plus, I guess. Going into the blue card here, it's pretty normal blue card, but it is very good to work towards the synchro. So you can see here, you get the unique gauge plus, which is also nice. It's a one time that helps because it's a time type. I'll go into it later. The switch gauge immediately off the blue card, similar to fusing Gogeta blue. You get special move damage, and it has blast armor when charging forward. If you hit it, you will destroy 3 enemy cards. Going into the green card now, on activation, key plus 50, switch gauge plus 60%. The switch gauge again is very important, similar to fusing Gogeta blue. Here on hit, draw 1 card if hand has 3 or fewer, cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions, or enemy sub counts plus 2. Little hindrance there for the enemy. You can combo everything into this. So yeah, just keep in mind, I'm pretty certain it's a beam type from what I saw in the reveals and stuff. It will probably be a long animation as well, so be careful. Going here to the switch abilities, so we're reading Goku's kit. You can switch into Vegeta, you will get HP, unique gauge up, and enemy Dragon Balls -1. This is only one time, but it's an inconvenience for the enemy. Going into the star ability, now their stats are crazy. There's a new level of power creep again. Damage 305%, damage guard 200%, key recovery 70%, draw speed +1. Also, per sagas from the movies or Fusion Warrior battle member, you'll get extra damage and extra damage guard. So already we're at 325, and the damage guard we're at 215, which is pretty good. It's actually better than most of the game, if not all of the game. Going into the unique ability now, on tag switch or battlefield entry, so tag switch into Goku or starting the game, you get a card, you get key, nullify special cover changes, nullify damage received element disadvantage, destroy one enemy card, all enemy strike / blast arts power -50% 10 time accounts, on strike / blast arts use, unique gauge +5, switch gauge +60. This is only one time. And here you have the when hit by enemy card, so unique gauge +5, building up the unique gauge like crazy, by the way. Ally sub counts -1, all enemy key recovery -30%. This is actually more inconvenient than you might think. Also, if health is 50% or lower, this is one time. Health 20%, synchro gauge +50, getting you to that synchro quicker, and enemy key -100, and also ally all enemy sub counts +2, again inconveniencing the enemy. He also has buff count cancellation, doesn't have any endurance in the kit, and this is shared between Goku and Vegeta, just to note. And then here also ally sub count -5, and this is based on there being an ultimate, special move, awakened arts, or rising rush being pressed. It being 2 times is good though. He has a blast cover change, and he can combo it only into blues, and here's the time gauge that I was referencing. So the time type gauge, it naturally will fill up by itself. When unique gauge becomes full, damage +10% uncancelable, health restoration +10% uncancelable, ally health +15%, ally damage +10% uncancelable. Like I said, it charges very slowly as long as the person's not dead. Go into the synchro gauge now. You press the synchro button and you fuse into Super Gogeta with full health. That's pretty much it. Now we're going into Vegeta's side. Vegeta's side isn't really much different, but there are slight differences. So we go into the strike, it's pretty much the same thing. The blast, pretty much the same thing. The blue card, it's pretty much the same thing, not gonna lie. The green card is slight different though. So you get the vanishing gauge 2 times 70% when you press the green card, which is nice. It's not a beam. I think it's just one of those where you just stand still and he gets a buff from it. So yeah. Switch gauge does go up 60% though, but vanishing gauge is now improved here. Here, when you tag switch, health, unique gauge, enemy Dragon Balls -1. Here, the unique gauge, it's the same as Goku pretty much the whole way. So yeah, everything else from here is pre-transformed. The time type gauge is the same thing as well, so there's really no differences. There's only a strike cover change instead of the blast. But yeah, that's everything for the pre-transform. Alright, so now we're getting into Super Gogeta. Tags are going to be pretty much the same. We just got to get into the kit differences. Strike is the same, blast is the same. The blue card now nullifies endurance for 10 time accounts and gives 50 special move damage, which is a great increase. The nullify endurance is very good. 10 time accounts off the blue card, that's going to be very helpful. Obviously in a lot of cases it will get cancelled, but let's say you pop it against somebody that doesn't, you will still have 10 more seconds of time accounts of endurance nullification post you doing the blue card. So even if you miss it, you can recover and still use them, which is pretty good. Destroys 3 enemy cards on hit, which we saw that prior. The green card here, powerful special arts that restores health key. Here, draw 1 card, health key, you get a vanishing gauge. It's similar to kind of like Goku and Vegeta's combined into one. Also, when unique gauge is full, nullify element disadvantages 5 counts or enemy sub count +2. It's like a combination of both Goku and Vegeta. The main ability here, you draw a blue card, you're going to draw 3 cards if you have 3 or fewer, HP key, Dragon Balls +2, and protect hand 5 time accounts, which is obviously useful so you can get the blue card off without being hindered. Going here into the unique ability, so once you fuse or once you enter the battlefield, you will get a green card. You will get a card if you have 3 or fewer. HP, the green card's only one time, by the way. Key, extra damage. I told you already, he already has crazy damage, so he's at like 355 now. Nasty. Unique gauge charge rate goes to 100%, so it's going to be immediately filled. Nullify special cover changes. This is uncancelable, so I think this allows you to actually hit, you know, CMZ with a rising rush, which is useful. Nullify endurance every time you enter the battlefield. Now, the only way this could be seen as bad, because it's not quote-unquote permanent, is that if you're 1v3, right, you're fighting a 1v3, you're probably going to be alive for more than 10 time accounts, and because of that, post 10 time accounts, you won't be able to nullify endurance from being on the battlefield. But in almost every other scenario, switching into Super Gogeta, you'll be able to nullify endurance, which is very, very impactful. Nullify damage received against element disadvantage, so the damage he takes, he's going to be type neutral. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that though. Destroy one enemy card. All enemy strikes and blast arts power -15, so the enemies are going to be much weaker considering he's debuffing them. But then he's already got great defenses, so that's going to be crazy. After strike / blast arts use, if hand has one card or fewer, this is one time. Activation reset on switch though. Draw up to 2 cards and get 50 key, so his combo potential is going to be decent too. When hit by enemy arts, ally sub count -2 one time. Activations reset on switch, or enemy key recovery -40%. This is a bigger inconvenience than you think again. And then here the buff cancellation, the same thing as before pretty much. And then he has a strike cover change, so he's more like Vegeta in that sense. And then the unique gauge is the time type again. So while full, damage plus 30% uncancelable, special move damage plus 50% uncancelable, all arts cost -5 uncancelable. When enemy attacks ends when unique gauge is full, ally health plus 10, ally sub counts -2, enemy key -40, and charges while not defeated. So it's really just buffs that are going to help you in a way. Consumes entirely when attack ends when unique gauge is full. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Super Gogeta. I'm gonna get into Super Janemba now. So we're going into Legends Limited Super Janemba. He doesn't transform or anything, he's just a standalone unit. He's a yellow unit, transforming warrior, so his tags here: transforming warrior, regeneration, powerful opponent, weapon wielder, from sagas from the movies, and I know it doesn't show here, but he's a melee type. Z ability, sagas from the movies, powerful opponent, regeneration, base strike defense, base blast defense 38% to both. If you're saga from the movies, you get base strike attack 18%, and if you're regen, you get strike damage 10%. Notice that it's strike damage and not strike attack, so just generally strike damage, which is slightly different, I guess. Here we're going into the strike arts. Blast armor, on activation enemy damage received plus 50%. Here the blast arts is the same thing, 15% on receive. There's no like anti-blast break or anything like that, but there's blast armor on the strike. Going into the blue card, he has a one-time extra damage boost, so that's for the first blue card's gonna hit different. It's close range, it has blast armor, special move plus 30%, enemy key -80, which is a big inconvenience for the enemy. Here we have the green card. On activation, draw 1 card, key plus 40, damage plus 30, and then on hit, next activated special move arts costs -20, non-stacking. Enemy health restoration -50%. This lasts for 10 time accounts. It's the forward moving type and it has blast armor, and you can combo everything into it. Now something nice to note is that he has 2 ultimate artses, so once he presses his ultimate right, on activation he's gonna draw his second ultimate, get his vanish back, ultimate damage, and nullify endurance. So even if you miss that first ultimate, you will have your vanish back and a second ultimate, so you might be able to chain another one as long as you didn't get perfect vanish. Also, if 60 time accounts have elapsed from battle start, ultimate damage plus 30%, 3 time accounts uncancelable, so extra damage boost there if you're past 60, and you get 2 Dragon Balls from doing the ultimate arts post 60 time accounts. The main ability here, you draw the ultimate arts next, you get HP, you get key, ally sub counts -5, and you're going to destroy the whole enemy hand. Going into the star ability, crazy stats again, 325% damage guards 235 off rip, key recovery plus 50%, draw speed, protect hand for 50 time accounts, and endurance, which is all uncancelable. Is crazy. His kit is nasty. Going into the unique ability now, on battlefield entry, unique gauge plus 100%, health 10%, key 20, nullified damage received element disadvantage, so that's the damage you receive, and he's going to be type neutral for that. Enemy key -35, which is a big inconvenience for them. Destroy all enemies special and special move arts arts, so that's their green and blues. Here, when on battlefield and enemy cover changes, draw special move arts, so that's the blue card. Activations reset on switch, key plus 40, critical damage plus 10%, 5 counts, allied damage plus 15%. When on battlefield, an enemy performs a special cover change 2 times, allied sub count -3, seal enemy special move cards, so again, sealing the blue cards, which is inconvenient. When hit by enemy arts 1 time, this is a one-time thing, but it resets, so bear that in mind, it's like 1 time on the battlefield. Seal enemy rise and rush, 5 time accounts, or enemy key recovery -60%, bigger inconvenience than you think. Or enemy draw speed -2, they're not drawing any cards like from sidestepping, that's done. And then here is some buff cancellation, which is just the cherry on top when somebody has endurance. When on battlefield, an enemy activates special move, ultimate, or awakened arts, or rising rush, ally health 10%, ally sub counts -5, and cancel enemy buff effects, which is obviously useful, but it's only, oh, this is 3 times, sorry, I thought it was going to be only 1 time because there wasn't nothing there. 3 times, all of this can happen 3 times. Blast cover change over here, and here's his unique gauge, so it's the time type, based on number of times consumed, counts reset on switch. So the first time you will draw 1 card, get key plus 30, damage, which is uncancelable, and he's already doing crazy damage, draw speed plus 1, nullify special cover changes 5 time accounts. Then second and onwards, you will get 80% to your vanish, which is 1 time, but it resets every time you switch. Damage on next art hit plus 80%. This is non-stacking and uncancelable. That damage is going to be outrageous. And critical rate plus 40%, 2 time accounts, which is also uncancelable. And he also goes type neutral completely, which is uncancelable. Charges very rapidly while on the battlefield and consumes when you press a strike, blast, special move, ultimate art when the unique gauge is full. That's everything for Janemba. Quite a good kit, as you can see. Let's get into whether you should summon. So first, I'm going to talk on whether I think you should summon for the Legends Limited Super Gogeta, Synchro Super Gogeta. I think he's worth summoning. Without a doubt, he's going to have some of the highest firepower in the game. Nullifying endurance, he's going to get through a lot of people that are good right now. Future Gohan, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. People might bring back Perfect Cell. Janemba is now in the conversation. We have options here that have endurance to make Super Gogeta very valuable, so having him will help you out a lot. While his element being green, he does counter Android 13, but he will also have a difficult time if he's not on a movies team, or even if he is on a movies team, he's going to be fighting against people that pretty much counter him. For example, Android 13, he seals blast darts, which Super Gogeta, he's a range type, so that doesn't help him. We've got CMZ in the meta, which is also a big inconvenience. Metal Cooler gets a buff, so he's going to be defensively greater. We have a lot of issues in the meta, and the meta doesn't exactly favor Super Gogeta, but his damage is so high, he's going to stomp. But here's where my problem comes in. His longevity, any unit, this is just Dragon Ball Legends history. Power creep is a continuous thing. Any unit that is insanely good based on pure damage does not last long in Dragon Ball Legends. Let me name a few. We have in the part 1 of the anniversary, MUI Goku and SSBE Vegeta. MUI Goku is valid right now because he serves a specific purpose to counter the powerful opponent team, but SSBE Vegeta was pretty good in the part 1. Part 2, immediately replaced by the likes of Tien and Chaozu. We also have Ultra Beast Gohan in last year's festival. He was very good to counter Majin Vegeta, but defensively, he became an immediate liability with no survivability. Yes, he does have the counter, but he was mainly damage, and that's what kept him ahead. When they introduce power creep and don't give them a sound kit that has a lot of mechanics or things that would go against the meta, their longevity is in question. And looking at Super Gogeta, yes, he's going to be one of the top dogs in the game on release, but if the part 2 units have similar stats to him, I think he could phase out very, very quickly, and that's where my concern is. So do I think he's worth it to summon? Yes. Do I think he's going to last long term? Not necessarily. And because of that, I am disappointed with his kit. I do feel they could have done better. They did balance him in that sense, but it doesn't make him last long enough. He's going to be good now, and you're going to need him now. You're going to want him now. But is he going to be good long term? I don't think so. But that isn't a guarantee either. It's just my opinion. So I think it's worth it to summon. If you like him, go ahead and summon. You will enjoy him. But you might not enjoy him for a long time. That's all I have to say about Super Gogeta. Next, we got Legends Limited Super Janemba. Should you summon? I think Janemba, as long as you like him, even if you don't like him, if you want to win, if your priority in PvP is to win, Janemba is probably going to be the best unit in Dragon Ball Legends. If you played PvP during the 6th anniversary, he's basically Ultimate Gohan, a new gen, Disrupt, Endurance, buff cancellation, and he has the top tier of damage because of the new power creep based on his damage guard and damage numbers. He is insane. So overall, I think he's better than Gogeta. He's probably going to have more longevity based on the buff cancellation and endurance. So because of that, I think he is more of a must summon. Obviously, if you don't care about Janemba, you just don't summon for him because Gogeta is still good. But overall, Janemba is crazy, and I think he's worth summoning without a doubt. There's not a doubt in my mind that he will not perform in PvP unless his stats are just below par, which is extremely unlikely for Festival Part 1 headliners, right? He's good. Janemba, good, green light, no concerns at all. And that's all I have to say about Janemba. Now, am I going to be summoning? Of course. Who am I summoning for? Summoning for Gogeta. Priority, I'm summoning based on preference. He is carrying the part 1 in terms of hype. Even though I said Janemba is going to play better, I don't care about that. I'm not a meta slave. I just want the guy that looks cool to me. So if I get Gogeta, I will be super happy. If I get Gogeta early, I might use some of my CCs to try and get Janemba because having both of them would be good. So as long as I get Gogeta, I'm fine. He's my priority. He's my top option. But if I have CC left over, I might do a couple spins for Janemba and hope I get him. That's my situation, and good luck to you guys going forward. That's going to make the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is ZAKASHI, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.